What's up, everybody? Noah Kids are back here for a brand new review. It is 2020. The year is getting better. The movie theaters are open, and we got Tenet. That's the only movie showing at my local theater. And I'm hoping that maybe next week they might get in either Unhinged, New Mutants, The Broken Hearts Gallery, Words on Bathroom Walls, The Personal History of David Copperfield, or just something besides Tenet. Because, one, it'll help the business, and two, I can get another 2020 reviews out to you guys. Here we go. Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through the twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. This film is incredibly hard to describe. So I'm stealing an idea from many reviewers, and that is reading the actual plot synopsis from IMDb. Because it is something that it's almost impossible to try and describe the plot without spoilers. That's why I am saying as very little about the plot as possible. But let's get into the movie. How was it? This was one of my most, and one of a lot of people's most anticipated movies of the entire year. We got the trailer earlier this year, then the movie got delayed. It was supposed to come out, I believe it was April 3rd, I think. April 3rd or April 10th or something like that. Then it got moved. Then it got moved again, and then it got moved again. We are finally getting it. What's going on with my hair there? Okay. And how is the movie? It's really good. It's amazing. I loved this movie. Now before before I get into the actual review, let's talk about a little experience I had with this movie. How did my theater do with the social distancing and the pretty much the everything? Well, I walked in. There was no hand sanitizer. So I didn't take any. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. Once I get to the movie theater, I always like to use the restroom, especially when this movie is 2.5 hours. I like to use the bathroom. So I did that. About 5 minutes before the movie started. I walk in the bathroom and the lights are off. So I had to use my flashlight on my phone to take a pee. A man can't pee with a light on? You kidding me? I don't know whether the women's bathroom had a light on or not. I am guessing so because it was all women working there. Which, hey, good. Then, the popcorn incident. I bought a small popcorn and a bottle of water. The bottle of water was all good. I got 3 pieces of popcorn in my mouth, eaten. And then here comes a worker, says, hey, if there's any problems with any popcorn, if it doesn't taste good or just if something seems off, let us know. I didn't hear one crunch of popcorn the entire movie. The entire rest of the time I was in there, I didn't hear any popcorn. And then I had to get up and leave the movie. I did see the movie. Why did I have to leave the movie? Well, about 45 minutes in, right where it's pretty much right where we meet we see Kat. We see Kat and her son, Elizabeth Debicki's character. She has a son, and it's pretty much right where we see him, and I think she's either dropping him off at school or going to get him from school. And John David Washington, or the protagonist, is going to talk to her. So this is relatively 30 to 40 minutes in the movie. The sound starts going out, and then the movie starts skipping. And I've never had this happen. This is the first time within hundreds of movies that I've seen in theaters. Now, yeah, there are people who go to movies, literally every single movie that comes out, mostly film critics, but a few other people do as well. I've never had a movie skip. So I go out there and the manager thought that I was kidding. And I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding. The movie is legitimately skipping." So then they say, well, okay. They had to contact the guy, and he got it all fixed, all good and fixed for us. And now we just have to watch the 5 minutes or so that proceeds that chapter. So Tenet, here's the review. Tenet is a great movie. John David Washington and Robert Pattinson deliver great performances. One qualm and problem that I've heard a lot is that you don't get to know the characters a whole lot. That's what Christopher Nolan was going for. And I get that now. I get that now. With his movies, you don't need to know the characters. With Batman, you didn't need to know anything about his character because he's Batman. He's Bruce Wayne. You already know him. You already love Batman. That's the reason you're there. Besides those movies, well, besides The Dark Knight Rises and a little bit of Dunkirk, that's all I've seen of Christopher Nolan. This man is a genius, especially with this movie. And I've heard that this is either his worst movie or his best movie. At 2.5 hours, I did not think this movie felt like 2.5 hours. I was kind of curious, how much longer do we have in this movie because of that incident? Now, I'm not going to really say anything about the pacing because the pacing was kind of thrown off. Because I knew how far we had to go in that movie. And then I'm like, well, how much longer do we have now? And there were only 7 people in my theater, all socially distant. With this movie, it's one that you need to pay really, really close attention to. Because Christopher Nolan is not going to hold your hand through this movie. This is not a movie that you can be on your phone during. I do not recommend that you go and use the bathroom during this movie. Do it before the movie because you don't want to miss anything or you're going to be completely lost. This is a movie that requires one's full attention, and they had my full attention until that incident happened. But with this movie, you get great performances, a great score, a great score by Ludwig. I'm going to check that just to make sure. Original music by, yes, Ludwig. Hans Zimmer was busy doing Dune, which, by the way, my theater only played one trailer, and that was for No Time to Die. And it was not the new trailer. It was the trailer that was attached to the April edition of this movie. So, no Wonder Woman trailer, no Dune trailer, no other trailer besides that. Just the No Time to Die trailer, which means I'm just going to have to wait until September 9th when I think Zach Pope said that the trailer for Tenet drops on September 9th. So, I'm going to wait until then. Kenneth Branagh. This man is evil, and I love it. He played a great villain in this movie. That is not a spoiler. The action is beautifully filmed, especially the first scene. I heard that the very first scene with the shooting at I believe it was a concert hall is beautiful. Beautifully shot. Beautifully, everything was just pristine. The fight choreography in this movie is genius. The writing is genius. It is pristine. I can't think of one bad thing to say about this movie besides this. and that is that the sound mixing could have used a little bit more work. When the dialogue was going on, most of it I could hear, but there were a few times, specifically when they are wearing their gas masks, which yes, I do get. You aren't going to hear them very very clearly, but the score was just a little bit too loud, and I think we could have turned that down just a little bit there, Mr. Christopher Nolan. But besides that one issue with not being able to hear maybe what 2% of the dialogue, this movie is amazing. It is my favorite movie of the entire year. This has replaced Emma. This is not getting a perfect A plus because of that little problem I had. But besides that, this is my favorite movie of the entire year so far. I don't know if it's going to be beat. We have probably 100 or so movies left to come out, or 100 or so movies that I am going to see. And I'm going to give Tenet an A. I really loved this movie. It is an amazing cinematic movie that one needs to see in the theater. If you see this for the first time on DVD or Blu-ray, you're not going to get the same experience. This needs to be seen on the big screen, and that's why Christopher Nolan wanted this on the big screen. Not only because of that, because also this movie needs to make $800 million from what I've heard at the box office. Why $800 million? Well, because Christopher Nolan gets 20% of the box office results. So this movie was made for an immense amount of money. Take out the theater's cut, and the movie needs to make about $600 million. But $800 million is what I have heard because of Christopher Nolan's cut of it. With this movie, he deserves it. This is the best movie of the entire year. What reviews do I have coming to you next? Well, Family Video has a $1 rentals. $1 rentals for everything. Every single thing in that store is $1 to rent, including new releases, which means on Tuesday, I can go down and rent movies for $1 that just come out that day, and that's just what I'm going to be doing. What movies do I have here? I have this one. It's called Yes, God, Yes. I pretty much got that one because of the runtime. This one because I like wrestling movies. This is a movie called Powerbomb. And it even has AEW star Britt Baker in it. Don't know how much she's actually in it, but she's in it. Party Hard, Die Young. Looks like a fun slasher exclusive, a Shudder exclusive movie. This one I haven't heard anybody really talk about. This one stars Cat Williams, called 2 Minutes of Fame. I don't know what that's really about, but I'm going to find out this week. And I'm going to give this one another chance, because when I saw this movie in theaters, I was having stomach issues. I was not feeling the best at all when I saw this movie on premiere night when it came out all over the world in theaters. And that was Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I'm going to give this movie another shot, give it the benefit of the doubt that I wasn't feeling 100%, having some stomach issues resulting in bathroom trips. So I'm going to give a second watch to Birds of Prey this week, and I'm going to make a video on whether I still have the same thoughts on it or not. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys for more reviews very, very soon.